Hello dear fans, friends and subscribers. This is your host Ram, welcoming you to the Cricket Happening show. Well, you might all be surprised that normally on Saturday I normally don't come up in the morning, but it would have been a late Cricket Happening show. But well, I'm there. I'm a bit indisposed today. I'm having some problem with my throat, but you know, cricket is so dear to me. So I decided that let me just share the Cricket Happening show with you right away, dear friends and subscribers, because you are a tremendous bunch of friends and subscribers that I have, and you are the ones who are the wheels of my success. As I've always been telling on my cricket show, all my Cricket Happening show, my efforts, everything. Yes, without you, dear friends and subscribers, this Cricket Happening show could not be a great success as it has been. And it is continuing to, and I'm sure I'm going to make this a greater success in the future for sure. This is going to be a cricket show which would have no parallels one day. Let me tell you that. I am so enamored about cricket. Cricket is my lifeblood. It runs in my veins, okay? Right. So let's start off with this cricket show with a bang here. Now, what are you going to look at on this cricket show? 3 matches. The first match that we are looking at is the match between Zimbabwe and Bangladesh. Therefore, Zimbabwe was set a target of 449 runs to win the match by Bangladesh. Mominul Haq, let me talk about Mominul Haq here. Now, Mominul Haq went on to score his 4th Test century, but while doing so, he did something which is a he actually got a unique record, and this record, he hit 130 runs. I suppose I'll just go have a sneak peek at the scoreboard here. Yes, Mominul Haq 100. He had an unbeaten 131 with 13 fours, and Bangladesh declared at 319 for 5, thus setting Zimbabwe a target of 449 runs to win the match. They have already cleared 78 runs, Zimbabwe, for the loss of 1 wicket, but they have an impossible task to perform tomorrow on the final day to really save some face in this series and really stop Bangladesh from making a clean sweep, as Zimbabwe required another 378 runs with 9 wickets intact. So we have a game on hand tomorrow on the 5th and final day at the Zahoor Ahmed Chowdhury Stadium here in Chittagong. Well, we'll come back to that, but let me talk about this unique record that Mominul Aslam, the talented batsman from from Bangladesh, has created. This is probably coming due to the excitement, because as you know, cricket is something which is pretty dear to me. Well, talking about Mominul Haq, while making this 4th Test century, what he did is something which was pretty unique as far as records go. Now there are only 1, 2, 3, I see 5 batsmen in the history of Test cricket who have scored 50+ scores in 9 consecutive Test matches, and the players' names are the great West Indian batsman, called as the 3 W's, but there's only one from the 3 W's. As you know, the 3 W's from West Indies represented Clyde Walcott, Frank Worrell and Everton Weekes. And here, this person's name is Everton Weekes. So Everton Weekes, Alex Stewart of England, Matthew Hayden of Australia, Jack Scalise of South Africa, Simon Cavendish of Australia and Kumar Sangakkara of Sri Lanka are the batsmen who have actually made 50+ scores in 9 consecutive tests. Now Mominul Haq has joined this elite group. So not only that, the other thing that Mominul Haq, another record that Mominul Haq created today was something which was absolutely superb. Now we have seen these are some great players who have come and gone in international cricket. One is the Everton Weekes of West Indies, Sunil Gavaskar, who is now a cricket commentator, as you know, and Mark Taylor of Australia, who is also a Channel 9 cricket commentator. And these are the reason that I'm speaking about these 3 players. These are the 3 players who have hit 50+ mark, in the sense they have scored 50s 11 times after coming in. I mean, in the first 12 tests that they played after making their Test debut, they made 50 plus 11 times in 12 tests, and Mominul Haq also joins this elite group, and this is something that you'd be proud of, because in his 12 tests Mominul Haq has also scored 11 50s in his 12 tests that he has played. So that definitely tells you that Mominul Haq is a real talent. I mean, after seeing him in 12 tests, he has already scored his 4th test century. He's one of those wonderful stroke makers, and he's a really a precocious talent that Bangladesh have, and I'm sure Bangladesh have to really nurture this talent of Mominul Haq. Now, just talking about, so that is something that I'm going to talk. I'll come back to that. I just wanted to talk to you about this match. We are also going to look at two things other than this particular 4 days play between Bangladesh and Zimbabwe. We are going to have, I'm going to do a brief preview of the second one-day international, which is coming up between Australia and South Africa. It is going to be played at the same ground, the Wacker cricket ground in Perth. The second one-day international. Australia are the ones who are 1-0 in the series. Can South Africa level the series tomorrow at the Wacker ground in Perth? And the next thing that we are going to look at, and the preview that I'm going to do, is between the final one-day international of the series, and the curtain will be coming down as far as the Sri Lankan-India one-day series is concerned, when Sri Lanka will be leaving for Sri Lanka after playing their final one-day match, and this is the home ground of the Indian captain, who is not there in the team, Mahendra Singh Dhoni. Is going to be played in Ranchi, and all eyes will be on this match, because it would be very good to see whether India can do a clean sweep of this series without Mahendra Singh Dhoni. And Sri Lanka also don't have some big names like Lasith Malinga, Kumar Sangakkara, and a lot of other players, but Sri Lanka have been really struggling as far as this particular one-day series is concerned, and Sri Lanka are the ones who are under pressure. They are the ones who have to get one victory under the belt. Let us see whether Sri Lanka can at least pick up one victory before they leave India for Sri Lanka. Otherwise, India would be clean sweeping Sri Lanka 5-0 in this one-day international series. But right now, so now my cricket report this was a cricket report in brief. Now we are going into those details of the match. So first, I'm going to take you down to the Zahur Ahmed Chowdhury Stadium in Chittagong, the 4th day's play between Bangladesh and Zimbabwe, and Bangladesh resuming on that overnight score. Finally, as I said, it was Bangladesh resumed at the overnight score with Tamim Iqbal and Imrul Kais at the crease, and they had 319 for 5 wickets declared. The feature being the Mominul Haq, the very talented batsman from Bangladesh, in his 12th test, getting to a 11th. I think it was 11 50s that he has now in his first 12 test matches, and what a record that is for Mominul Haq. And that's what enabled the Bangladeshi captain Mushfiqur Rahim to actually declare the innings close at that particular score of 319 for 5, and with that 129 runs lead, they set a target of 449 runs to win for Zimbabwe in this particular match. Tamim Iqbal, well, he played his part well. He made 65. Tamim Iqbal now seems to have really hitting some good consistency after getting those 2 centuries under his belt now. Tamim Iqbal made 65 with 4 boundaries. Again, it was a knock which was played with lot of common sense and good judgment, and Tamim Iqbal was not in a hurry. Now we are definitely seeing a sort of a real change as far as Bangladesh cricket is concerned, because Tamim Iqbal, normally an attacking opening batsman, has really changed his color now. He's really playing like a real test batsman, and that's very important. I think Tamim Iqbal is doing a wonderful job, and 65 runs was the result with 4 boundaries. Imrul Kais made 15 with 2 boundaries, but Mominul Haq, as I said, was playing superbly. He was stroking the ball well, and whenever you see, one thing I've seen with Mominul Haq, when he strokes the ball, it is done in a very sweet manner. He likes to play his strokes. He's pretty strong through the offside. He likes to cut. He likes to sweep. He likes to pull. So he has all the strokes in the book. And let me tell you, he is the one. He's one of those players in Bangladesh, according to me, is really extremely talented. and well, he doesn't really spare any bowler in the sense if you're not going to bowl him a good length, well, the ball is going to really go, because any loose deliveries, Mominul Haq is not a batsman who is going to really shy away. He's going to give it, he's going to go at it, and he's going to stroke it. And that's what I've seen in Mominul Haq. He looks to be a precocious talent as far as Bangladesh cricket is concerned. And today, as I said, he has joined, he has done a unique thing as far as international cricket is concerned. So Mominul Haq kept up the good work, and he was the one who was instrumental in Bangladesh declaring the innings close at 319 for 5. He collected an unbeaten 131 with 13 boundaries. Mahmudullah contributing 30 of 28 deliveries with 3 fours and 1 6. Shakib Al Hasan making 17 with 1 boundary, and Mushfiqur Rahim himself blasting 46 of just 30 deliveries by depositing 2 sixes and hitting 4 fours in that knock. And Shaukat Ahum was not out on 319 for 5. Bangladesh declaring the innings close here, thus setting Zimbabwe a target of 449 runs for victory. Looking at the bowling figures here as far as the Zimbabwean bowling goes, Masakadza 7 overs none for 28. Panyangra 12 overs 3 maidens 2 for 31, bowled well I thought. Sikandar Raza 25 overs, he was very costly. In fact, Mominul Haq, as I said, he really loves spinners. He's another thing in Mominul Haq I've seen is that he has twinkling feet. Whenever the spinners bowl, he just comes down the wicket and really gives them a real go. And what I've seen, that is also a mark of a good batsman, because when you use your feet against the spinners, I think Mominul Haq really has twinkling feet when it comes to spinners. And Sikandar Raza, not a real, I would say, really a full-time spinner, part-time spinner, got clattered for 114 runs with his bowling when Mominul Haq was batting. Mashangwe, the leg spinner, I thought he bowled impressively. 18 overs 2 maidens 277. Chigumbra 9 overs 2 maidens none for 19. Hamilton Masakadza 7 overs 1 maiden none for 39. And then Zimbabwe came into bat, chasing 449 runs for victory. In fact, Mushfiqur Rahim, the Bangladeshi captain, declaring the innings close just into the final session. And well, it was not a good start for Zimbabwe, chasing 449 as B. Chari, actually the Brian Chari, collected a pair in this test match as Rubel Hussain once again came in and picked up his wicket by having him LBW for naught. And after that, from a score of 4 for 1, once again Zimbabwe, like in the first innings, when Sikandar Raza, the opener, and Hamilton Masakadza started playing the strokes, it was a typical scenario, but with Sikandar Raza being pretty aggressive with his stroke making, not sparing the spinners, hitting them for 2 sixes, and he also hit some delightful boundaries. He hit 6 boundaries in all, with 6 boundaries and 2 sixes in an unbeaten knock of 43 of as many balls, and he was unbeaten at stumps on day 4. Hamilton Masakadza was giving him company with an unbeaten 26 to his name with 3 boundaries. I thought Hamilton Masakadza probably looking a bit more sedate. I mean, he was much more sedate than Sikandar Raza. Sikandar Raza was absolutely on the ascendant, and Zimbabwe closing the day on day 4 at 71 for 1 after playing 19 overs. So they still have a big task to do. They still have 378 runs to score on the final day here in Chittagong to really not allow Bangladesh to actually do a clean sweep of the series. Well, let's see what Zimbabwe can do. Whether there are 3 results, all the 3 results are possible. One is a Zimbabwe win, one is a Bangladesh win, and another would be a draw. So all the 3 results possible, but it is very good to see. It would be good to see whether Zimbabwe is going to accept the challenge tomorrow, or whether they are trying to put the shutters down and they are going to play out for a draw. It will be very interesting to see what their approach is. I'm sure the approach would be to go for victory. Well, but it would be a real battle between the bat and the ball, according to me, tomorrow at the Zahur Ahmed Chowdhury Stadium in Chittagong. Looking at the bowling figures here for the Bangladeshis, Shafiul Islam 4 overs none for 8, Rubel Hussain bowled 3 overs 1 for 16, Tajul Islam bowled 6 overs none for 17, Jubair Hussain Delegi 2 overs for 12 runs, Shakib Al Hasan 3 overs for 16, and Shaukat Ahum 1 over 1 maiden none for none. Now on this Bangladesh Zimbabwe, I would also like to tell you something here. I'm told that the one-day international squad has been announced and for Bangladesh, and I feel a bit sad that Nasir Hussain has not been selected. Sabir Rahman has been selected, and Sabir Rahman has not played a lot of runs in the domestic season, and was a bit surprised because I feel Nasir Hussain, maybe not in test matches, but I always felt that Nasir Hussain is another beautiful talent that Bangladesh possesses. It's just a matter of he not being in form, and I thought they should have given him an opportunity in the one-day internationals, because he's a wonderful batsman to watch. He's a wonderful all-rounder. He contributes in all the three departments of the game, and for me it was a bit surprised that Nasir Hussain was dropped for the one-day internationals, unfortunately. Well, so from here I'm leaving here, and now we are going to two previews. A brief preview, as I said, the Bangladesh Zimbabwe was the one which occupied the main, I would say, it occupied the line space as far as this cricket happening show is concerned. But now I'm going to talk about the, I'm just going to do a very brief peek, not a preview one could say. It is the second one-day international which is coming up at the same cricket ground, the Waka pitch here, the hard and bouncy, the pacey and bouncy pitch of the Waka pitch in Perth, where the temperature is pretty good. I heard that it is going to be around 29 degrees centigrade, well, South Africa, but for South Africa the pressure will be on them, because Australia are 1-0 in the series, and South Africa would probably like to put it across Australia tomorrow. Whether they can actually level the series, that's going to be seen. Now, what does South Africa need to do to get? Well, they definitely came close, no doubt about it. But probably they would look out for a good start from their openers, Hashim Amla and Quinton de Kock, who failed in the first one-day international. Du Plessis, De Villiers, De Villiers definitely did his job. David Miller also did his job. So the bowling, I thought South Africa really bowled well, but it was just one of those days where Australia just went one better than South Africa as far as the bowling department was concerned, which enabled them to win the match. As far as Australia are concerned, well, they are definitely breathing with lots of confidence here. After suffering the reverses against Pakistan in the United Arab Emirates, I thought Australia, but in the one-day international they definitely did well against Pakistan, barring the test matches. But Australia now, with their team, they are looking pretty organized here. With Aaron Finch, David Warner into some good form here. Watson, now as you know, Michael Clark is not there. His place is going to be taken by Steve Smith, who is a very good all-rounder, will be contributing in all the three departments of the game. George Bailey is the captain who will be leading the show, and the bowling has been looking good. We saw Nathan Coulter-Nile and Josh Hazlewood really use the short pitch ball to good effect. They got the rewards, and the bowling has also been, Mitchell Johnson has been firing on all cylinders. In fact, as you know, he has been named the ICC Cricketer of the Year, so definitely that is going to rub in him, and tomorrow we might see absolutely charged Mitchell Johnson really charging at the South African batsman with lots of pace and bounce on this very hard and bouncy Waka pitch in Perth. And I'm really looking forward to this second one-day international coming up, and I want to see how Mitchell Johnson is really firing on all cylinders tomorrow. Now, the last but not the least, we are coming to the end of this one-day international series between India and Sri Lanka. India has been absolutely ruthless in demolishing Sri Lanka in the first 4 one-day internationals, and for Sri Lanka the only thing in their mind would be whether they can stop this marauding Indian batsman from going, the marauding Indian team from really crushing Sri Lanka tomorrow, where Sri Lanka are having their lot of problems. Kushal Perera has been a bunny rabbit as far as Umesh Yadav is concerned. Every time in this one-day international series, Kushal Perera has been losing his wicket to Umesh Yadav early in the piece. Now that is what Sri Lanka would like to do. Sri Lanka would like to put up a foundation. The opening partnership, Kushal Perera has not been able to get the ball off the blocks. He has been really struggling. Umesh Yadav has been really putting him under a real pressure, I would say. So the opening partnership is pretty vital, according to me, for Sri Lanka, if at all they want to stop this marauding the Indian team, as they are looking in peak form here. And this is going to be played at Ranchi, the home ground of the captain who is not there in the Indian team, Mahendra Singh Dhoni. And I'm sure Mahendra Singh Dhoni would be there at the Ranchi cricket ground to witness this beautiful spectacle that is going to happen at Ranchi. Dinesh Chandimal has been finding, he came into the team but he couldn't contribute much. Mahela Jayawardene would be hoping that he could actually, in fact he already has a century in this one-day international series, but Mahela Jayawardene would be probably thinking that in the absence of Kumar Sangakkara, he is the one who has to really play the lead role tomorrow. Angelo Matthews, the captain, well, he has been doing his bit. He is such a wonderful cricketer as far as Sri Lanka is concerned. Once a wonderful captain. Would only one feel sorry for Angelo Matthews that he's not been able to get the good support that he would be hoping for from his Sri Lankan players, unfortunately. Like Rohit looked good the other day. The bowling has been something, in the absence of Lasith Malinga, they have been looking a bit listless. Because I wouldn't say listless, it has been more of an Indian batting that has been doing the trick. The Indian batting has been something which has been worrying the Sri Lankan bowlers. The Sri Lankan bowlers have not been able to hit a good line, but I would say the credit to the Indian batsmen. Ajinkya Rahane has a century, Rohit Sharma has a century, Virat Kohli has a century, Ambati Rayudu has hit a century. And we also know that Rohit Sharma went on to score the record. He holds the record for the highest individual score as far as one-day international cricket is concerned, of 264 runs the other day. Kedar Jadhav might make a debut tomorrow. That would be pretty interesting to see, because Kedar Jadhav is another one who is a very good talent, who has scored very heavily in domestic matches, and India would be tempted to have him tomorrow. Robin Uthappa, the wicketkeeper batsman, he is another player who could be pretty dangerous coming in lower down the order. Stuart Binney has been doing well. Akshar Patel, what to say? I mean, he really leaked some runs in the previous Monday. Other than that, Akshar Patel is really, I have a feeling that Akshar Patel is really making claims to come to the World Cup 2015 with his efforts here. Dhaval Kulkarni, the other day bowled well, taking 4 wickets. Umesh Yadav has been absolutely a sort of a different, a real change bowler as far as his bowling is concerned, because Umesh Yadav has been absolutely delivering. He has been really delivering for India, and that is something, a very good sign, considering that India would be going to Australia after in December to play a test series against Australia, and then a tri-series against Australia and New Zealand, and then the World Cup 2015 follows in Australia and New Zealand in 2015. It's a flagship event which is coming in 2015, as we all know, dear friends and subscribers. So we are all waiting with bated breath for that, no doubt about that. But what is going to be very important is how the Indian players, as I said, Indian players are looking like they are looking in some real red-hot form right now, whether it is the batting, bowling, name it, and they are looking powerful. And whether tomorrow is going to be something that India would be doing, where I think if at all India do it, that would be a clean sweep of Sri Lanka, and I'm sure Sri Lanka will be doing all the preparations today to see that they could stop India in their tracks tomorrow at Ranchi, and then proceed to Sri Lanka at least with 1 win under their belt. Well, we will all be there, and I'm sure Mahendra Singh Dhoni, the whole local home man who is not there in the Indian team because of an injury, would be sitting there at Ranchi on the seats, on the special VIP seats, and witnessing this spectacle, and he would be hoping that for India it finishes off with a real flourish, whereby India would be clean sweeping Sri Lanka 5-0. Well, let's wait and watch, and your host Ram, as usual, will be there to share those cricket happenings with you. Until then, it's goodbye from your host Ram Studios. Thank you.